everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a necklace using this focal piece from this month's Bargain Bead Box. So if you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, I have a whole playlist full of unboxings that you can watch, and you can see what wonderful things come in the Bargain Bead Box every month. It's $17.95 a month, shipped to your door, and you get all kinds of beautiful things, including stuff like this gemstone piece. So if you're interested in subscribing, I have a $2 off coupon, and you can check out the details on bargainbeadbox.com. I will put a link in the description box below, but we're just going to jump right into this. So we're going to be using this beautiful focal piece. I'm going to try to use this pinch bell to hang it on. I think it'll fit it. I'm not sure. That's the only gold one I had that was even close, so we'll see how that works. We're going to be using some of these really sparkly, beautiful colored, they're kind of almost like an olive green. They match this pretty well. These rondelles, we're going to be using those. We're going to be using the leaf beads, 4 of them, from this month's box. I think it came with 5. We're just going to be using 4 to keep things even. We're going to be using these little Czech flowers. Now, I have a ton of these little Czech bell flowers, and I've pulled out a bunch to use for this necklace. I wanted to kind of go with the flowery, leafy theme, so that's what we're doing. And I've made a bunch of dangles up here, and I'm going to show you how I made the dangles, but we're going to be making a bunch of these little dangles. And I believe these came in a Potomac bead box, the best bead box, maybe it was last month's, and along with them came these beautiful little tiny drucks in these metallic colors, and I love these. I thought they were so pretty, especially all together. So we're going to be using a bunch of them. You can use anything. You could just use a plain spacer, metal spacer, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to be using some of these gold petal bead caps. These are 5 petal bead caps. They are on my website if you're interested in buying them. I'm using a gold lobster clasp. And I've got a couple of a big ring here for the lobster to clasp onto. You'll need some smaller jump rings as well. I'm just going to pull some out here because I neglected to pull out jump rings. But you will need a few smaller jump rings, and I've got these. These look like a pretty good size. They're all mixed, but I'll probably use some of the small ones out of there. You will need some ball head pins to make these dangles. And you may need some other head pins or eye pins. I'm not quite sure yet where we're going to go with that, but you may. You're going to need some tiger tail, and I've got kind of this antique bronzy sort of tiger tail. This came in the Potomac bead box too, I believe. So you can kind of see it there. It's like a antique gold color. And let's see what else. I've got a couple crimp beads here to finish my tiger tail, and a couple of clamshell covers. I have the clamshell covers on my website as well, and then here are some crimps. And I believe you are going to need a couple of eye pins, and I think that's about it. So if you pull out all this kind of stuff, now for these, if you don't have these little flowers, you could just use beads. You know, you could use any type of just a little bead dangle. I'm just using the flowers because I wanted them kind of to go with these leaves. I like that. I think it's going to be a cute look together with the leaves. I do have on my website, I have the small little 14 millimeter. They're a little bit bigger than this, but they're the hand-painted lucite flowers. My website is down right now for, well, I don't know if it still will be after I film at the time that I'm filming this video or not, but okay, so I think that's everything. Like I was saying, I'm sorry, Chris opened the door and interrupted me. I do have these little 14 millimeter Czech flowers on my website, or not Czech flowers, bell flowers on my website. Mine are a little bit bigger than this. They're hand painted though, they're really pretty. But my website's down. If you try to get on there and it's down, it's because they're moving it. It's going to be a whole lot better of a situation for me, but it is going to be down for a few hours. So if you try to get on there and you can't, just keep trying. It will be back up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I made these little dangles. And I thought these turned out really cute. If you can see, they're made using a ball head pin, one of these small little beads right here, a bead cap, and the little flower. So we're going to make a couple of them. I'm going to need one more for the necklace, and I think one more for my little bead. I'm going to do a little connector up here. So we'll make a couple, and then if we end up needing more, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 of them already made, okay? So we're going to make 2 more. That'll be 10, and then if I need more than that, we'll just make another one. All right, so I'm just going to take a little round bead, and then I'm going to take a bead cap like this. Now this is a ball head pin, and the reason I like these is because they're easy to wire wrap, and we do need to wire wrap these so we can hang them on the tiger tail. And then I'm putting the little flower on. You can do this any way you want. You could actually put a bead on the top of the flower. You could put the bead cap on top instead of underneath, however you want to do it. Just get creative. It's kind of fun. I like these little flowers. I think they're really pretty. I'm going down to the very tip. I bent this wire 90 degrees, and I'm going down to the very tip where the bend is, and I'm going to bring my wire up and over. So here's what it looks like, little question mark. Then I rotate my pliers to where they're upright, and I'm just bringing this underneath, okay, so it creates a loop. I'm going to grab the loop with my pliers, and I'm just going to use my hand to wrap this. Now you can use pliers if you want, but this wire is so thin, I'm just going around about 3 times. It's easy to wrap, and then I'm going to cut that off, okay? Now if there's a little pokey thing sticking out, like mine has a little pokey wire sticking out, you just take your pliers and just close it in there, okay? So there is one little dangle. Now I'm going to make this other one to match this one that I'm going to use up top. Now there's another one too. I'm trying to get these ones up top because they're going to be connector little things up here. I'm trying to make them match. I think this one's closer right here. So I'm just going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to make the same exact little dangle. Am I? Wait a minute. What did I just... No, that was the earrings I was thinking of. Okay, never mind. We've got enough dangles for the bottom. For the connector, we're going to do something completely different. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm losing it. Okay, I've filmed like 10 videos today. This is a long day for me, so I'm trying to get a lot done because we're getting ready to move, and I may not be able to do a whole lot when we're moving, so I'm trying to get a whole lot done this last few days before we get ready to move. Okay, so I'm going to take my focal piece. I'm going to use this pinch bail, and this is how the pinch bails work. You take your pliers, and you grab it, and you just open it up a tad bit. Okay, just like that, just enough to get my piece in on here, and I'm going to put my piece on. And I'm putting one of the little spikes through the front and one through the back. And I'm just going to use my fingers to try to close it up. Okay, to where it's in the holes and it's not going to fall out. And then I will use my pliers to try to close it the rest of the way. But it gets kind of, it's wide. Unless you have wide pliers, which I do somewhere. Find them. These may not be them. Yeah, those should do it. Okay, and then you just pinch it in as far as you can get it to go. Okay, so like this. And now each little one of those spikes is in there, and it's not going to come out, hopefully. That's the goal, is for it not to come out. So you kind of want to make sure you've got it pinched in pretty good. So let me give it another little squeeze here. Okay, and that should do it. I don't think it's going to come out of there. I don't think it could, because the little spikes are going to meet on the inside, and it won't close up any more than that than when they touch together. And I'm getting all tangled up in this tiger tail. So once they touch on the inside, it won't pinch together anymore. So I think mine is as closed as it's going to get. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I like that little pinch bail in there. And I actually thought about taking the leaf and hanging it, but I don't think it would really show up very good if I did that, because it's the same color as the thing. But anyway, okay, so now we're going to take a piece of our tiger tail, and we're just going to string on, and I'm not going to cut my tiger tail right now. I'm just going to string on because I want each side to be even, so I know it's kind of long, but I'm just gonna string on both sides. So I'm gonna take my little pinch bell, or my little focal piece, and put it on there. And then I think I want to do a bead cap facing out. Did I put that on right? I did. So that they cup the pinch bell and kind of keep the beads from coming through, if that makes any sense at all. I hope it does. See, this pinch bell is kind of big, and when it closes, when this is tight, it's going to look like that. Number one, I think it's cute and decorative. And number two, it will keep the beads kind of in place and not let, even though these are bigger beads, they wouldn't go through there anyway, these big rondelles. But if you had a smaller bead that would flow through that pinch bell, it keeps them from doing that. So that's kind of nice. And I like to do that. All right. So I'm putting a rondelle on either side. And then I'm going to hang a little flower on either side. And these flowers are different metallic colors. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to try to hang them like, how do I say this? I'm not going to try to make sure that they match up on both sides so much. I'm not really going to worry about that. I'm just going to pick them up at random because I don't know that I have enough to make them match on either side anyway. So I'm just going to kind of do it at random and it'll look good. Okay, then we're going to take a rondelle on each side and another flower. That flower's got a little wire sticking out. Let me close that up. Okay, so just like that. Then I'm going to put one on this other side and another rondelle on each side. So this is going to be it's going to be a 2-strand going into 1 strand. Let's see, I think this is going to be really pretty. I kind of wanted to hang this on Coriana chain, but the only problem with that was these tiny little round druck beads are way too small. They just won't go on the Coriana chain. They're teeny tiny, so that wasn't going to work. So I just decided to use tiger tail instead. See how it's coming together? I think it's going to be pretty. All right, and then another rondelle. Another one. And another flower, and I'm just going to keep alternating these rondelles and flowers until I run out of the flowers. Or the rondelles. Oops, get in there. Okay, another flower on each side and another rondelle on each side. Now, I had some other flowers, but they were red. They were like a real reddish tone, so I didn't really want to use them. I was trying to stick with the golds and the bronze colors in this necklace because I didn't want it to look Christmassy. I was afraid if I put the red ones in there, it would look kind of Christmassy, and it wasn't the look I was going for, so. And one more rondelle on each side. Let me grab another one. Okay. Oh, I did have another one out here, didn't I? Alrighty. Okay. So, there is what we've got so far. I think it's really pretty, but it's not quite enough, I don't think. It needs to be beaded up even further. So let me look over here and see what other beads. Let's see how many more rondelles I've got. I do have these reddish flowers. I don't really want to use them. I think they're going to look weird on here. So let me see how many more rondelles I have. I have several. A couple of them are on links, but I could take them off. Okay. I'll probably just use all of these rondelles in this because If I don't, I won't have enough to use on something else, you know what I mean? Alright, so let me grab some more of these little beads. And I think what I'll do is alternate them and the rondelles up the rest of this piece here. And see if we can get a little more real estate out of this, because I think it does need just a few more beads. But like I said, I'm trying to avoid using the red ones, so that's where I'm... Okay, that's probably enough. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little bronze bead, or one of these little metal metallic beads on either side, and a rondelle on either side. Another metallic bead on either side. Oops. A rondelle on either side. And a metallic bead on either side. And then we'll evaluate where we're at. Alright, that's a little better, but I think I need to go just a couple more. And so I'm just going to cut these. I had made links for some other things that I didn't end up using them. So I'm going to cut those little links off. And I'm going to go ahead and use, I'm going to have one left over. I'm going to go ahead and use these. So rondelle on either side and one more metallic bead on either side. And that will probably be enough for my length that I need on this bottom row. Okay, so now let's look at it. Yeah, that's better. I think that's going to work just fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down to the end, and I'm going to use some bead stoppers. Maybe, if I can find them. They were here just a little bit ago. Everything was always here just a little bit ago, and then it disappears when I need it. I don't know how that happens. Okay, oh wait, here they are. Okay, yeah, I'm going to put a bead stopper on here. And a bead stopper on this end. And then I'm going to cut this tiger tail, leaving enough room for me to be able to put my crimp beads and my clamshell covers and everything. Okay, so now for my second layer, what I want to do with this one is I want to alternate the leaves and the the leaves and the bead caps and these little metallic beads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 metallic beads in the middle. Okay, just like this. And then I'm going to do a bead cap facing away on both sides. And then a leaf facing away. So the big part of the leaf in the bead cap. Okay, just like this. Whoops. Okay, and then when I pull it down, this is what it looks like. Okay, then I'm going to do another metallic bead on either side. And I'm not making sure the metallic beads match. I'm just kind of picking them up randomly, like I said before. I'm just not, I don't really want to make them all match. Okay, and then what you call this thing? Bead cap facing away from the bead, and then the leaf again with the bigger end against the bead cap. And then a metallic bead on each side. Oops. And my tiger tail is a little bent right there on the end. I need to trim it off, but that's why I'm having a hard time getting the beads on there. Well, let me just trim it. If it's bent on the end, it's really hard to string small beads on it. Which part of the problem is it is a dreary rainy day here in Fayetteville today, so there's not a lot of sunlight coming in, and it's dark in here. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. Now, I'm just going to string some of these metallic beads up either side. So let me see how many I have. If I have enough of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of course, there's an odd number of them. All right, so we're going to do 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 on one side and 5 on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the other side. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now, when we bring this back over and we string this across here, hopefully it's going to lay just like that. Okay, so I need a little bit more real estate on this strand here. So I have some metallic beads. These came on a 4-piece thing from Michael's, and these were like when they had their beads on sale for $2.99 for all their beads. So I'm just going to use a few of these because I'm out of most everything else that I need. So, and I need just a little bit more room on here. So I'm going to put 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and then I'm going to put 2 on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this because I know that I don't need it to be a whole lot longer than this. Actually, I might put 3 per side. Let's see how it looks. 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 1 more on each side, just so I have enough to where it's not too short. I don't want it hanging too short compared to the other one. Okay, so 3 per side, and those blend very well with these others. Actually, I'm probably going to do 1 more on each side, just to be sure. Okay. Okay, so that's what we're going to end up with right here. I think that's going to be really pretty. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take my bead bug off one side, and I'm going to put it on the other side of this one because I don't want my beads falling off of it. And I'm going to take these 2 pieces of tiger tail, match them up just like this, and put a clamshell cover. I want both of them to go through the bottom of this clamshell cover. Now you can't do this with too many pieces of tiger tail, but 2, it should work. I've done it before and it usually works pretty good. I'm going to put a crimp bead right over both pieces of tiger tail. Now because we're using a clamshell cover, it doesn't really matter that this crimp bead be, crimped perfectly. But I am going to use my crimping pliers because I kind of want these 2 wires to stay side by side and not, I want them to stay side by side and not cross. So I'm going to take my little crimping plier, pull this up to the end, and crimp it right down. And hopefully what that will do is it will put a little divot in the middle of each side of the wire. And then I'm just going to close it up, and it should be very sturdy in there, okay? Then I'm going to pull my clamshell cover up. Now you can add a little bit of glue if you want. The only glue I have right now is super glue. I don't really want to put super glue on it, so I'm just going to go with that. And that's good. Now I'm going to take these and push them up, but I don't want to push them to where they're taut, like super tight. You just kind of want it to, this little bit of wire is going to show here, and that's okay if a little bit shows. I'm just going to push them up to where it's as close as I can get to the other side. Now let me trim this one because it's way long. Okay, let me trim this one up I'm going to trim them both up just a little bit. Okay, now what I want to do is when this hangs, I'm going to make sure on both sides that this one is above the small one. Okay, so this side too, I want this big bead to go right up here above the small bead. So when I put these together and I put my clamshell cover on, wherever did it go? Oh, did I lose it? Oh, for heaven's sakes. There it is. Okay. When I put this clamshell cover on, then I'm going to put my crimp bead on, just like I did on the other side. Okay. And if you can see, they both sides, the big bead is above the small bead, and that's how I want it to be. I'm going to pull this tight. You want it to be kind of tight, but you don't want it to be so stick straight that it can't move. Now this one I'm going to have trouble getting the crimp to go because it's down in there. So I'm just going to take my pliers and smash the crimp. It'll be okay. It won't come loose. And my wires are still side by side, which is what I want. I just didn't want them crossing over each other, and they're not. So I'm going to take my cutters, cut this off. Maybe. There we go. And then I'm going to close this up. Okay. And when we do that, this is a component that we've got. Ooh, I think it's pretty. I really like this a lot. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make a link to put on here, and then I'm going to attach chain to it. Okay, so I've got 2 eye pins, 2 of my rondelles, 2 bead caps, 2 flowers, and 2 of the little round beads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my round bead first, then my bead cap, then my flower. And see, I'm doing a lot the same thing that I did right here, and my rondelle. Okay, just like this. And I'm just going to take it, and I actually may add one of these guys on top now that we're using them. Yeah, that's pretty. And I'm going to make a loop on either side, or a loop on the other side. So I'm going to turn this at a 90-degree angle, just like we did on our dangles. Cut this off and create a loop. Just roll it right around like that. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Little metal bead. Don't tell me that. Oh, there it goes. Bead cap, flower, rondelle, and gold bead, just like that. Flip it 90 degrees here. Cut this off. And roll back a little loop. just like that. And if you have to straighten it up, you can. And there's our other link, just like this. Okay? Now, I'm going to take small jump rings and I'm going to attach these links to my component right here. And this keeps wanting to twist on me. Don't do that. There we go. All right, so I'm going to take small jump rings and attach it. I'm just going to attach it straight to this component. Close it up real good. And same thing on the other side. Now I have a couple options. I could use regular chain up the side, or I could use the Coriana chain. And I think I'm going to use the Coriana chain because I like the way that it'll be shiny and pretty with this showing. So I'm going to grab a little out here. This is the Coriana chain, and I love this stuff. I think it's so pretty. And I'm just going to go straight up the sides with it. Let me see how long I want this to be. This is not supposed to be a super long necklace. So I think I'm just going to go. Okay, so I've got about 2 6-inch pieces of this Coriana chain here. And I'm going to, these are different kind of clamshell covers. These are side fold over ones. So I'm going to take this crimp bead, put it on the end of my chain just like that. And I'm just going to crimp it. And then I'm going to take my side fold little clamshell cover. I'm going to stick this right in here and close it up. And this can be kind of hard to do because they want to fall out. Okay, let's stick it in there. Close it right over your crimp. Just like that. Okay. And there you've got an attachment. And we're just going to take a jump ring and attach it right to this. And the reason I'm using jump rings to attach these and not just opening this loop is because it seems to make things hang better when you use jump rings. They are not as tight. They don't get hung up as easy. I think it makes them hang better. And there's something, is it the chain blocking that? Oh, okay. Sorry, my crimp bead was up in the top here. No wonder it wouldn't close. Okay, so let me put this on here. You just stick it right through there and then hang it right onto your component and then close this right up. Okay, and that's how you can attach this Coriana chain. And the Coriana chain is so pretty. I like to use it. I like to let it show. I think it's really pretty. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take a little crimp bead, put it right on here, mash it down at the top. Okay, and then take the side fold clamshell, and if you can close it with your finger, you can just close it like that. It's a little bit easier than trying to balance it and close the pliers at the same time. Take a jump ring and just attach it right onto your component. And there it is. And now, if I wanted to bead on this, I could, but I don't really want to. I like the way it looks, just kind of showing like this. I think it's really pretty, really sparkly. And so now, I'm just going to finish it off. First, I'm going to hold it up. It does hang pretty much right where I want it to. And so I'm going to finish it the same way. I'm going to take a crimp bead, stick it right on this end. Smash that crimp bead down. Now, if you're not using the side fold clamshells, you have to be careful and not forget to put your clamshell on before your crimp bead. I've done that a lot of times, and it's annoying. Then just put that guy right on there. And then the same thing on the other side. Take this one, smash it down. I always pull on it to make sure it's secure. And then just close the little clamshell cover. Okay, so now what you've got is you need to add your lobster and your ring. If you wanted to put an extender on it, this would be the time to do it. I'm not going to, but you could put it right here on this ring. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on and close it up. You don't have to use a ring this big, but I kind of like to because I think the lobsters are difficult to deal with anyway. So I like to have a bigger ring for it to clasp onto. And then you just put your small jump ring through here, attach your lobster to it, and close it right up. And there is your finished necklace. This one was easy, but it looks really intricate when you look at it. So let me put it on a form and I'll show it to you. Okay, so here it is. Here's the finished piece on this form. This form is having a hard time standing up because it's broken in the back. But I think this necklace turned out really pretty. I think this is one of my favorite ones from this month's box. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like it and subscribe. If you don't ring the bell, you won't get notified when I upload new videos. So make sure you ring the bell. And if you're interested in subscribing to Bargain Bead Box, all the information will be in the description box below. And coupon code Wendy2 will get you $2 off your first month's box. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make the pair of earrings to go with this necklace. So I just did this tutorial. This is a necklace using products from, I've actually combined products from the Potomac Bead's Best Bead Box and Bargain Bead Box. All of these little flowers and these little Czech drucks came from the Potomac Bead's Best Bead Box, and all of the other beads on here, except for these little spacers, these came from Michael's. Everything else came from the Bargain Bead Box. The Coriana chain, this is available on my website, as well as these little 5-petal bead caps that you see in here. But most of the beads were from Bargain Bead Box or Potomac Bead's Best Bead Box. So we're going to make the earrings to go along with this. All the information will be in the description box below for both subscriptions if you're interested in subscribing to either one of those. So let's get started. So here's the one earring, and I will show you the necklace so you can see how it matches. So they look really good together. And we're just going to make the other earring. This is super, super quick and simple. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to need, let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need a ball pin head pin. You're going to need a jump ring that will go through this little drop. And these are the drops from the Bargain Bead Box. You're going to need 2 of the little drucks. If you don't have these, you can use any little metal bead, any little bead. These are, I believe, 4 millimeters. They may be 3. I don't know. These are the little Czech bell flowers from the Potomac Bead Box. I have a bigger version of these on my website. They're the hand-painted lucite flowers, and they are 14 millimeter, but they would work as well. You're going to need a little 5-petal bead cap, and this is a rondelle from the Bargain Bead Box, and a fishhook ear wire, and that's it. Okay, so this is super simple. And we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take our jump ring, put it right through this drop. If you get a thin enough and a big enough jump ring, they will go through the drops super simple. Now, if you have a pinch bell, I used a pinch bell on this, and I like the way it looks, but I didn't have any pinch bells small enough for these, so I just had to use a jump ring. Okay, actually you're going to need an eye pin too. I forgot the eye pin. But let me find one. Did I put them away? You're going to need an eye pin. Oh, here they are. Yeah. So you're going to need the ball pin, head pin, and 1 eye pin. Sorry. Okay, so for the little flower, you're going to... Actually, you don't even need the ball head pin. You need just the eye pin. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the necklace. Okay, so we're going to put the little druck on here. Then we're going to put the bead cap facing down. Then we're going to put our flower. Then we're going to put our other little druck and our sparkly rondelle. Okay, just like this. Then we're going to take this, bend it 90 degrees. Get my cutters out, they're tangled up. Snip this off with your cutters and get your round nose pliers and just make a loop. This is so easy. These are super simple. Just roll this right back like this. Okay, just like that. Make sure it's closed up. Okay, then we're going to take our fishhook ear wire. Sorry, that is Chris's phone ringing in the background. We're going to take our fishhook ear wire. We're going to attach this right up here. Just like this. Okay. That's a different ringtone that I've heard him use. And then we're going to take our drop and we're just going to attach it right on the bottom. Oops, did I open the wrong side? I did. So just go ahead and attach your drop right on the bottom. And that's it, guys. It is that simple. Now, if your drop is not hanging parallel, what's that fuzz on there? You can twist these. You can take this one, hold it exactly how you want it to go, and turn this bottom one, and it will make, or actually you'd have to hold this one, sorry, and then turn the bottom one. But mine's hanging pretty much parallel like I need it to go, so I'm just going to leave it. But these are so cute and so quick and easy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you get the updates when I post a new video, which I am doing a lot lately. And if you're interested in subscribing to Bargain Bead Box, and Chris's phone is ringing again, or Potomac Best Bead Box, I will put the information in the description box below. So I will get off here and see you guys in the next video. Bye!